দর্শক আমন্ত্রণ আরটিভি নিয়মিত আলোচনা অনুষ্ঠান ফোর্থরাইটে আপনাদের সঙ্গে আছে আমি সৈয়দ আশিক রহমান। এই অনুষ্ঠানে আমরা কথা বলি বিভিন্ন সেক্টরের বিশেষজ্ঞদের সাথে যারা বাংলাদেশে কাজের অভিজ্ঞতা, উদ্দেশ্য এবং ভবিষ্যৎ পরিকল্পনা নিয়ে আলোচনা করেন। আমাদের আজকের অতিথি বাংলাদেশের ফিলিস্তিনি দূতাবাসের মিশন প্রধান হিজ এক্সেলেন্সি ইউসেফ রামাদান এবং জাতিসংঘে বাংলাদেশের সাবেক স্থায়ী প্রতিনিধি ডক্টর AK আব্দুল মোমেন। Very welcome, Excellency Mr. Yousef Ramadan and Dr. AK Abdul Momen at RTV Studio. Excellency Mr. Yousef Ramadan, after the US President's recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, it is clear that the US can no longer claim to be a mediator. What are your thoughts?
Well, good afternoon to you and to the viewers. Assalamu alaikum. Well, Nikki Haley was right from one point of view that they have credibility. This is for Israel, credibility for the Israeli view. But for us as a Palestinian, for the international community, they have no credibility whatsoever. And the voting of the 14 Security Council member on this issue proven that the United States of America has no credibility whatsoever to solve. They are not capable to solve the issue of Palestine and Israel. We have given the United States of America a 27 years chance. From 1993, we've been negotiating with Israel with the supervision and mediation of the United States of America. 5 presidents, from President Bush, Clinton, then again Bush, Obama, and this is the 5th one. And nothing happened in favor of Palestine. On the other side, Israel has confiscated more and more land, built more and more settlements in the occupied territory, made its grip of occupation over the Palestinian more and more stronger. 3 wars against Palestinian. We have lost so many lives during this process. So we gain nothing. And we have louder and louder, we spoke that the Americans are not being just and fair. But nobody listens. Trump, when he came and to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, it was clear to the whole world that this man who is ready to go against the international community and the Security Council resolution can never be eligible or fair or have any credibility to be a mediator. You cannot be an accused and be a judge at the same time.
As expected, the United States vetoes UN call for withdrawing that Trump decision. What is the next?
You see, this is, it's not Trump's decision. It's the resolution was that any country that recognizes Jerusalem as the capital, they should withdraw it because logically and ethically that Jerusalem is not the capital of any specific country because it is the seat of all the 3 monotheist religion. And it has been the land of Palestine for ever centuries. So naturally, we believe, Bangladesh for example, we believe the independent Palestine state will have its capital in Al-Quds or Jerusalem. That's the, and global community believes it. But unfortunately, Mr. Trump, it's an occupied land. Israel has occupied the land of Palestine. And now, Mr. Trump came and he started building his own house in an occupied land. That's why it is good news that global community, out of 15, Security Council members, 14 voted. 4 voting against it. And most interestingly, countries who always favors USA, Europeans for example, they voted against USA. This is the beginning of the becoming weak. US is becoming weaker and weaker. This is a new trend.
Mr. Yousef, Fatah and Hamas are trying to look for election, and which is announced recently. Where does the unity government move together to highlight recent activities with America and Jerusalem?
All the Palestinian people, no matter what kind of differences that they have among the different factions, but they all agreed related to Jerusalem. All of them in one hand, as a one man, as a one voice. No matter if they're from the right wings or left wing or moderate, whatever, they all have the same idea, the same opinion, the same target. Jerusalem is bigger than all of us. Jerusalem is the most valuable for the Palestinian, and I believe for most
Muslim
of the Muslim world, and for as well as for the Christian also. It is also important. So the Palestinian people, they did already taken away all the differences to face this issue. They have decided to meet very soon, within I think few days time. There will be a general meeting for all the Palestinian faction in order to discuss how can we move in the future, how can we confront this illegal and reckless decision by Trump, how are we able to mobilize all the people around us to support us, to get more support, and to force the American administration to reconsider their illegal decision. There will be also, of course, there is no more problem between Fatah and Hamas, which is a great thing really happened. And there will be a conference which will include Hamas and other organizations under the PLO, under the leadership of the PLO. There will be an election, parliamentary election and presidential election within the period of 18 months. And there is also something very important, that a new strategy will be discussed among all the factions and try to come out with something acceptable and reasonable to the situation that we are living in today. I mean, rise up to the occasion.
Exactly. Do you think that after US President declaration, the dream of Palestinian state is over?
It's the opposite. It's the opposite. See, we live with optimism. We are optimistic people. Without optimism, we cannot fight, we cannot sacrifice, we cannot struggle. We will forget about Palestine without optimism. We believe in God. We believe in the just God, that God is just. And we believe that with continued struggle, continued sacrifice, we will get our homeland back, and we will establish Palestinian state, and Jerusalem will be the capital of the state of Palestine, whether the American administration like it or they don't like it. So trust me, nowadays, after the declaration of Donald Trump, we are much more optimistic than before, because now it is not acceptable at all for us, the American, to be the mediator to solve this. So we will request the United Nations, the Security Council, to step in and to be the mediator. So we will involve the world in our situation.
So automatically it comes in your side.
We don't want anybody to support us in this case. We want the people to be fair only.
To be fair.
And the issue is very clear. There is good and evil, and they have to choose.
And bring the justice.
Exactly. And the Security Council twice voted 14 out of 15 in favor of Palestine. It's not in favor of Palestine, it is in favor of justice.
Justice.
And that's what we're looking for, justice.
If I can add to him,
Please.
you see,
Please.
After the American, this declaration, if you look at it, now many countries are, calling that Jerusalem should be the capital of Palestine.
Absolutely.
This would not have happened unless Mr. Trump would have done it. So he is right that this is helping the Palestinian people to achieve. They have suffered almost 70 years now. But this issue have intensified and their unity. And hopefully, I don't know about it, hopefully it can intensify the strength among the people who are fair and judicious. I know might is considered right throughout history, yet, it is the right which overwhelms at times the might. Now, if you look at the global community is in favor of Palestine. In favor of Palestine. So this is a good news, This is a good news.
Mr. Momen, you are talking about the global community. Critics says that it is an issue between Israel and the world, 1.5 billion Muslims. How does Muslim? Yeah.
You see, Muslims, there are so many Muslims, but they have been infighting among themselves for years. And at times they do lip service. Basically, they do lip service.
Lip service.
Yeah. It would be the decision will be made by those who are in favor of justice. And those are against the justice. So I don't, continue between the Muslims and non-Muslim. Because now, even you see the European, the Christian, they are also supporting us. And they are supporting Israel. Objecting Mr.
in the favor of Palestine.
Yeah. So it's not, I should not, limit
not
it
only
among the
Muslim, it's about justice.
Yes, it's about justice. So I find hope, although, you see, it's very difficult to reach the goal.
Well, Mr. Yousef and Mr. Momen, we'll talk more after a short break. দর্শক দেখছেন RTV নিয়মিত আলোচনা অনুষ্ঠান ফোর্থরাইট। এই পর্যায়ে নিচ্ছি বিরতি, ফিরছি একটু পরে। সে পর্যন্ত আমাদের সাথেই থাকুন। দর্শক, আবারও আমন্ত্রণ ফোর্থরাইট অনুষ্ঠানে। আজকে কথা বলছি বাংলাদেশে ফিলিস্তিনি দূতাবাসের মিশন প্রধান হিজ এক্সেলেন্সি ইউসেফ রমাদান এবং জাতিসংঘে বাংলাদেশের সাবেক স্থায়ী প্রতিনিধি ডক্টর একে আব্দুল মোমেনের সাথে। Very welcome again, Mr. Yousef Ramadan and Mr. A.K. Abdul Momen at RTV studio. Well, Excellency, Palestine has reportedly suspended all talks with United States. How does it will help to achieve their target?
It will help a lot. 10 minutes after the speech or the declaration of Mr. Trump related to Jerusalem, considering Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, President Mahmoud Abbas, he gave his remarks and speech, and he was very clear that America is no more acceptable, no more eligible, no more recommended to be a broker or a mediator in this process. And when they decide to send the Vice President to the area, President Abbas announced clearly that he is not welcome to visit Palestine.
Mike Pence.
He will not be received in Palestine. There was a very good move from the leaders of a Christian leader in Egypt.
Well,
the Muslim leader of Al-Azhar, they said the same thing. He will not be welcome. We will not receive him. Many others, also leader, they said the same thing. That was the first blow to the American. That was the first real constructive reaction when it comes from both Christian and Muslim leaders. That is very important.
Well,
very important. And a lot of pressure on the Palestinian leadership to accept. Unfortunately, the pressure came from the Middle East and from the West, and from America. And they threatened that they will stop all their support and donation to Palestine, well, which they did. But they didn't know
including Middle East?
Everything, mainly financial support. And we thought that I don't think there is something more important to us or more valuable to us than Jerusalem. Jerusalem is considered to be the jewel of the crown.
Exactly.
It's extremely important. It is the most important.
The international media is portraying that Israel itself is victim. Do you think Muslims failed to establish a parallel and effective media to present their perspective and what steps should be taken
Of course,
to
I
change
agree.
that paradigm?
Of course, the Muslim world has no effective media as such. The only one they have is Al Jazeera. Again, it is run by the non-Muslims, you see. Muslim world, although they had the money, they have people, but over the last so many years, they have totally failed in, because you can win a war through media. Media is most important. Unfortunately, there is no Muslim media across. And it's because the government, the leaders in the Muslim world, most of them are afraid of media. And therefore, they never allowed those media to flourish or ever, help them to grow. As a result, we are basically, once I remember, normally we get up with the listening to the Western media, and when we sleep, we ended up with the Western media. And whenever we look around, any problem anywhere, we look at the Western media. There is no credible media which we can call as Muslim. So I think this is an area where we have failed.
World or Muslim people should work.
We should work on that, and we should grow. Now, the Bangladesh, I should say, we should also start
the vibrant media.
Vibrant media, but they should also cater to they should create a media that all the people of the planet Earth should listen to that media for any informative, objective information.
Very good idea.
This is something we should do, because others failed.
Bangladesh
Our
could
Middle
take a
Eastern
leadership.
friends, they failed. All other Muslims, countries failed. So it is time for us to take the lead in this area, and maybe we can, with our limited resource, we can do it. Because we have the intelligence, we have the drive, and we have the hope. You see, we are living against hope, but that's the only thing we have currently after Mr. Trump's situation.
Mr. Momen, what is the possible way forward from current crisis and long-term solution to the Jerusalem issues? What is the solution?
That's a very tough question. What is the solution? For Bangladesh government as such, we have been supporting the state of Palestine ever since. And we believe that Palestine, there should be two-state solution. One, Israel, they live in security, and the other one is the state of Palestine with Jerusalem as their capital. That's our position. And we have been since Bangamundu, even in 1974 at the UN, he declared support for the state of Palestine. And we maintained that policy ever since. Now, how to resolve this issue, I don't know. Only way out, because American has not been very helpful in resolving this issue. This would have been resolved long time ago if America would not have been meddling in the name of being a neutral, agent. They have been playing all the dirty cards. If they would have been supportive of two-state solution that they have proposed, things would have been resolved long, and that would give, this terrorism and all those other problems would not have been there.
I'm giving you same question. What is the possible way to forward the current crisis, the issue for long-term solution?
I believe that we should not expect a lot from the West. We should depend on ourselves, number one. We should depend on our unity as a Palestinian. We should depend on the Arab, especially the neighboring country, and also we depend on the Muslim world. Collectively, we are able to put pressure on the West to be engaged in this process in a fair way. I am more optimistic than my colleague here.
Momen.
Yes, related to media. And it's true, the media, if I talk about it, just last month, if you check the media last month and you check the media this month, it's different. I'm talking about the Western media. Lots of difference. They are more fair. They're
more fair.
More fair. Yes, they are more fair. Because they have to catch up with the people. Finally, today is not like in the 70s where you can only, your sources is only this channel or that channel, local channel.
Now social media is very strong.
Exactly. Social media is very strong. And propaganda
but
cannot work anymore.
Still, there is a different propaganda. So if they can actually divert people, because social media, though social media is very strong, but still you have to give the right thing, right propaganda.
You see, things is happening in the ground in front of everybody. No more secrets anymore. People are saying, leaders are saying what they believe in openly. Nothing is hidden.
Exactly.
Nothing can be hidden. So the people are receiving the right information. It is for them to decide which line they should stand. So I'm more optimistic. West can play very important role, very important, and very active and very effective role in solving the Palestinian issue, including the United States, excluding the United States, it doesn't matter. But if they are able to continue to work as they did at the Security Council, 14 members out of 15, supporting the right against the wrong, supporting the good against the evil, then Israel can resist for sometimes, but it cannot resist for long. It cannot. It cannot only depend on the United States of America and full stop, because Israel also have a very good connection in Europe. If Israel gradually lose this connection and lose the privilege, slowly, this will affect. Look, Israeli society is Ashkenaz and Sephardim. Ashkenaz mean the Jewish who came from Europe. Sephardim, the Jewish who are from the Middle East area, okay, the inhabitant. Those people who came from the West, they came from Europe. Until today, the people who came from Poland or Bulgaria or Hungary or Russia, they still have two nationalities, their original nationality and the Israeli nationality. And they still have their homes also in Europe. In case something happened, they have a place to stay. So if there is really pressure from the West, it will affect those people a lot. It will affect economically, it will affect in the military. And this also, the more they get affected negatively, the more we get affected positively, the more united, the more stronger we will become. So we should work on something very important. This is to the Muslim world and to the Christian world. Jerusalem is a 5,000 years old city. It was inhabited by Canaan, which is the Palestinian. Before Ibrahim alayhi salam came 17th century BC to Palestine. And it is mentioned in the Torah, their own book, that when Ibrahim came across the river from Iraq to Palestine, he was well received by us and given a piece of land to build his home free of charge. And the king of Jerusalem, Melchizedek, as it is mentioned in the Torah, was his friend and treated him well. So this city, what they call it's our city, it was inhabited from the Palestinian. We were living there, and we gave the name of Jerusalem as Or Salib. It means the city of peace. So when they talk about history and their rights, and it's all, sorry to say, rubbish.
By the by, there is one group of Jewish, there is the Orthodox Jewish. They support the cause of Palestine.
And they don't believe in Israel.
They don't believe in Zionism.
Exactly.
And they are becoming stronger and stronger.
Yes. They live in Jerusalem, but they are very badly treated by the occupation. Very badly treated. Very badly.
Even they have a big group in New York, and every weekend they will demonstrate in front of the Israeli mission in favor of Palestine, Palestinian people.
With Hatta, with the Palestinian flag.
There is hope.
And they believe that Israel has no right to exist at all. According to the Torah, it has no right to exist. And this land, all this land, historical Palestine, is Palestine. And they are a Palestinian Jewish. And that's what exactly the truth.
My reading is, if we are united and we don't do lip service, we do sincere service, as Bangladesh has been doing.
Thank you. Excellency, Yousef Ramadan and Dr. A.K. Momen. দর্শক, এবছরের জুনে পূর্ণ হলো আরব ইসরায়েল যুদ্ধের 50 বছর। এই যুদ্ধের স্থায়িত্ব এক সপ্তাহ না হলেও এর রেশ রয়ে গেছে আজও। সম্প্রতি মার্কিন প্রেসিডেন্ট ডোনাল্ড ট্রাম্পের জেরুজালেমকে ইসরায়েলের রাজধানী ঘোষণার মাধ্যমে আবারও সেই পরিস্থিতি উস্কে দিল নতুন করে। এর মাধ্যমে মধ্যপ্রাচ্য যে অস্থিরতা বিরাজ করছে তাতে শঙ্কিত বিশ্লেষকেরা। আজকের আলোচনার সূত্র ধরেই আমরা বলতে চাই, চলমান সংকট কাটিয়ে উঠতে আন্তর্জাতিক সম্প্রদায় এগিয়ে আসবে, সেই প্রত্যাশায় শেষ করছি আজকের ফোর্থরাইট। এতক্ষণ আমাদের সাথে থাকার জন্য ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে।